All right, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to Make It on Monday. This is our first guest speaker on our show, which I'm very, very excited about. This is Isaac Tutt. He is a filmmaker. We met in a different group, and now he's here to share his wisdom with us, his techniques, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I'm Isaac Tutt. I run a different group, but mostly I'm interested in creating shows and movies since I guess ever since a kid, I've always been a big fan of anime and have been watching it even into my adulthood. And so I'm creating some processes and ways of kind of doing it with AI that I think are going to be big for companies and people that are creating videos in the future. And so we're kind of just at the very early start of this whole AI video trend. So hopefully you guys all are on board and are willing to kind of put some work in so that you guys can be a part of that movement going forward. So the tools that we're going to end up using. The process is actually pretty simple. Um, yeah, I'll start with some definitions and then we'll jump into like the process and how I end up doing it. The very first tool that we'll be doing is using is just ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is kind of like that, or any LLM that's like that. Whatever your favorite LLM is that can answer questions and talk to you and has access to information. And so this is kind of where I start. A lot of times, I'm working with different people in terms of like specialties, and so there's a guy that I work with named Keith that's got like he's been writing. He writes novels. He's been writing his whole life, and so he's got some particular knowledge on like how to construct a story, right? How to construct a story, what kind of things you need, what are the pivots, the conflicts that should be happening within. Like I have no idea about that stuff, right? I'm mostly an automation guy. I focus on AI and automation, and I love the stories, but I'm not one to really write them. And so he's got a protocol that we use, and we've just we plug it into one of we add it as a reference to ChatGPT, right? You can upload a file, and then just say, hey, use this protocol to give me a story about a particular idea. And so you would go through and you would have, it would write you whatever it does based on the protocol that is used. And then you now essentially have something that you can start with as like, a story that you can start putting together and bringing to life. Obviously, many people already have their own scripts and already have their own ideas and have, can write. And so if you've got that talent, like please go ahead and just use that. Um, and so once we get a story, the next part now is to go on and start automating, or not automating, start storyboarding what you're going to end up bringing to life. And one tool that I'm starting to really use a lot and bring onto my like, tool belt is this notebook LM. And you can just go notebooklm.google.com. I think
All right. I'll put it in here.
yep. So this is very useful in the sense that like it's essentially an agent. It's its own agent. And so you can have different references here that you could use as like files. And so one reference that I've got is a script that I've got from somebody that we're creating a video out of. And one of the harder parts was essentially going in, and since I've got no background in writing, right? I use Keith's protocol to kind of give me maybe a storyline. And then if there's already a script that's here, um, I'm not even sure how to really storyboard it all that well. I kind of just funnel my way around until I have something. But I've been using this to kind of streamline that process where I can now add Keith's protocol as a way of like understanding what's happening. But I also have the script to give me ideas on the images and what I can use. And so once you're here, you can add your script, right? So you go on to add resources. You can upload your script.
Can you
Once you
show us? Is it possible to show us what you're doing?
am I not sharing my screen?
No.
Oh shoot! I apologize. Start over. Share. Okay. I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. I apologize. So this here's the start. Let's just start over. So we're using ChatGPT to kind of help us with this with the script writing, right? And so you come on here and you just say, you add a photo or a file that you want to add, and then you can choose whatever you want, right? You can add references, of course. And so because I'm not very good with script writing, one of my friends or somebody that I'm working with has provided a protocol that they've used for it. And I just asked ChatGPT to use the protocol to give me a story based on an idea. And so it's giving me all this. You guys can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the story that is given me. Now the next part is like, okay, we've got a story. How do we bring it to life? So we need a storyboard. And then we've been going to Notebook LM to kind of do this as like the new tool that we've been adding in. And so Notebook LM lets you kind of add different references. Excuse me. Okay. So you can add different references here. So you can add, click Add Source. Then you can either grab it from your Google Drive, you can add it as a link or a YouTube video, or you could paste your own text. I've mostly been using it to like just paste my own text because when I get ideas from ChatGPT, I just copy them from here and I go to Notebook LM and I paste them here and then insert them. So because somebody's given me a script to work on, I'm not just using the script. This thing you can just upload it and it will basically take your entire script and add the text for it here. And then I've also added the protocol as like one of the other documents. And what this will do is you could do multiple things here under the studios. Well, I've mostly been using just the slide deck and maybe like a video overview sometimes if I want to kind of present the idea to either my wife or just to give somebody a quick sense of like, hey, this is what we're working on. What do you think about it? Or just the general story overall. Just to show you guys. So I added the script here, and then I just basically went in here and said generate. And so here's one of the ideas here's one of the things for the slideshow that is giving. And so, yeah, so it'll go through and storyboard the entire thing, right? So here's the tension. And I guess depending on what you ask it to, right? So if we click this, you can see what the prompt was that I used. So create a vertical panel comic sequence in anime Disney style influence with soft gradient, clean lines, tense, blah, 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 right? So this is just the prompt that I'm giving it. And of course, you could always go back to ChatGPT and just say, hey, give me a prompt for whatever you want to do, right? So if you're like, hey, I want to create a slideshow that does XYZ, you could just go to ChatGPT and say, give me a prompt for this AI model that will do XYZ. And then it'll give you the prompt. You can take the prompt, then just like once you're clicking into the slide deck, edit, and then you can paste the prompt here. You want to keep this to be a little bit more detailed so that it's not like presenter slide because that's more corporate. Keep this on default and then just paste your text and then you click generate. You can, of course, by just clicking one of these, like it will just automatically start generating without any context. And so it'll just make stuff up. Obviously, like it'll try to reference your stuff, but again, it's still going to be empty. But here's an idea of like what is given based on the story that I had, right? So because I didn't give it much instructions, it created like its own title, but the characters and the story is very consistent and is kept.
Beautiful.
But obviously, like this is just storyboarding, right? So it's gonna make mistakes in the sense that like all of your characters won't look alike, and so that we'll do that on the next part. But this is just storyboarding, and it does a really good job of doing that. So like if you look at this, um, right, it's storyboarding it. Like here's the setup, here's the next scene, right? Like it's showing different parts of it. Evening. Here's where the story kind of starts with the thing. The girl's in her room typing. This guy escapes out of some prison, and he's a drug addict. She gets a call from her dad, talking to her mom. The guy wanders into the house, right, through a garage door, and then it goes into the guy entering and calling his friend. Obviously, like this is just like a really short example of it, but what you want to do then is now that you've got your story from ChatGPT, you've got your storyboard from here. Now you want to make sure that you want the scenes that you actually want because you got an idea of what the storyboard is. And so, for example, if you're looking at this particular scene, you might say, "Well, Haley doesn't actually look like this, right?" And if you've got an idea for what she already looks like, then you can go and take that. Um, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just pull up no stacks. So before I discovered the this thing, I started to basically put together what the character images for the story. And so we have Haley looking a bit different, right? And it's really not that different because that LLM is actually consuming the entire story, which has like a description of what she looks like. And so it does a pretty good job doing that. But if you want to stay consistent and have the same clothes, same kind of look, all that, same hairdo, then you would plug in that character and say, well, okay, here's the character. You would take this particular image, plug it into something like a nano banana, right? And say, here's an image of this character on a keyboard or on a typewriter. Switch her out with, whatever character that you had, which would be the one I was just showing you guys, this one. And Nano Banana will do that. So now you've got a scene where a girl's typing, she's got the right clothes, she's got the right hairdo, like the things are perfect in this scene. And so you do that for the rest of your story in your storyboard, and now you've got a general idea of
Wow.
how the story flows, right? And so now you've got like basically a picture book of your story. Um, I'll just show you guys this example of the videos. So here's one video that we did on the story of that we were just doing, right? Um, actually, this is another picture book. Sorry, let me just go to the I don't throw the opening. So it'll go through and actually like how to make this thing narrate it. Sorry, just gonna skip it.
You got to share the sound. We're not hearing it.
Oh, you're not hearing the sound?
Do I have to do anything here? I don't think so.
No, I think I do. When
Maybe on
I
the right.
share again, there's usually a thing that says allow sound. Also share tap sound.
And if I could just interject here, I use LLM a lot, but not for this purpose. And you just opened up a whole set of possibilities. Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that's the
Very,
case. That's how I found out too. Like,
yeah,
usually I used it for coding, but somebody was
totally.
showing me the process, and I was like, "Oh, this will make my process so much quicker."
Yeah,
You
very
know,
nice.
I'm not a storyboard kind of a person. Sorry, go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, I was just going to say it takes someone like an outside perspective. You think you know something really well,
Mhm.
you come along and present it in a different manner. Like, wow, the LLM is LLM. LM is very powerful.
Yes.
Um, and maybe I'll do a presentation on its at another time. But what you're doing here is going to just, whoever sees this replay is going to be like, ah. So go ahead.
That's how I was. And so, I'm just sharing the info and hoping other people get the same use cases the same uses that I get out of it, because it's an exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff that's happening everywhere with all this AI stuff. Okay, so this I don't use as much because this is just an example of like, if I want to take a story and I wanted to kind of present it to somebody in that, like, oh, here's how the storyboard would end up coming out. So that way they get a sense, right? So that's mostly what I use the video for, but it's really helpful. So now we've got that. We can use something like whatever your favorite image tool, right? Nano Banana Pro, or Nano Banana, or I use mostly Nano Banana and Seed Dream, are the two AI images models that I used because they're really cheap. Well, actually, Nano Banana is not that cheap, but Seed
Sorry to
Dream.
interrupt. Do you know that there is an unlimited creation thing for 1 year at Hicksfield? I think today is the last day.
What's the
Yeah,
name of
yeah.
it? Pigsfield?
Yeah, Hicksfield is a platform that leverages different video tools and image tools, and like they aggregate all the tools so you can use them all at once in their platform.
And they got an 40% or something like this. And if you have this plan, I have the plan, then you get unlimited Seed Dream and unlimited Nano Banana for 1 year.
Yeah. See?
Without
Exciting.
watermark.
So
How do you get the Nano Banana?
Hicksfield.ai.
Sorry?
The Nano Banana is free too?
Yeah,
Yes.
so they give it to you in their like overall package, and then you can just use it for free on their website.
Cynthia, I gave
They have
you
incredible many tools and very good
okay.
ones. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's good.
No worries, that was good. Okay, so you get your image, your storyboard, and if the characters don't look like you want them to look, or like you want to change certain things, that's where you go to your image tool, right? Nano Banana or Seed Dream in this case. And I usually go up and I can go and edit. I can just go edit whatever it is, right? So let me go to Seed Dream. All right, so this is Seed Dream. Obviously, put in whatever prompt and just say, here's an image, edit it so that the girl is wearing a different shirt, or replace it with this other girl. Yeah. Sometimes what I also do is, especially if I have Black characters inside of the stories that I'm doing, the LLMs and these like image generation tools are just not as good, because most of the training has been done on, mostly Caucasians, and like, there's some Asians because of the anime stuff. And so it's not very good at drawing anime, like hairstyles or like Black people's facial expressions. And so I go on, or sometimes if I just want like different poses from an image, I'll go on Pinterest and I will just look it up. And so sometimes I'll come up with, something like this. And then you can take that and do the same thing with the image tool, where you go in and say, hey, here's my character. Here's the pose that I have that I would like my character to do, right? So we would take this and let's see if we copy image address, and then we went here, we can just plug in the image, and then now we're referencing that image. And you can do that with Nano Banana also, where like you can just basically punch the image in here, or download it and add it as like a separate reference upload. And just say, hey, swap out this person that's doing this pose with my character so that your character does the pose, or your character has the clothes, or your character has the same hairstyle, same expressions, whatever it is that you're looking for. And so you do that until your entire thing here is done, right? Your storyboarding is done. And then now when it's time to generate the videos, you can then go through and you can choose whatever your favorite video model is. For me, mostly I've been using VO3 and CDance, or the two that I use. And the reason why I use VO3, or not VO3, or CDance, is because it's got this like special like multi-shot thing that I got from this guy named Framer that does AI animations. And essentially, like if you put in here in like the description, right, you do cut, brackets, cut, and then zoom on the dog's face. The dog is smiling, right? Or whatever it is that you want. It will create this like seamless multi-shot thing where in the same video, it will, you know, do the dog video, and then it will, can we do it here? Yeah, we can. Let's see if we could just do it. So this thing, I don't think this dog image is available anymore. Okay. All right, let's just try it. Zoom in shot. Dog's face.
That puppy is so cute.
Right.
So this is an AI that you're using too, wave speed? Is it like Higgsfield?
Yeah, it's exactly like Higgsfield.
Okay.
Where like they just aggregate a whole bunch of tools, then you can use them.
Yeah.
I mostly use this because I've been using their API for quite a while to kind of automate a lot of my processes, and so it's just, yeah, there isn't really much of a difference. You can use any other ones. Val was another one that was used, but these guys are usually a little cheaper because they've found different ways to do it.
Okay.
So here, once you've got your storyboard right, the part that I was talking about is, you know, say like in this scene, right, in your storyboard, because you come to LM, you just give it a story, and then it'll create the story. It'll create this like storyboard for you. Once you're like, okay, well, I don't like that this guy's in the back here. He should be over here. So, or maybe if this guy doesn't look like, you know, the character that you've imagined or character you've created, you would take it to your image tool, and then you would just say either move this guy to the front or change this guy's look with this particular guy, or, you know, like I showed earlier in the Pinterest, like change the facial expression of this guy to be this.
Can you do something such as like make him look more muscular like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or you have to
exactly
okay.
Matter of fact, like maybe that is something that we can try right now.
Yeah, good. You're good. Let me repin you.
I'm enjoying this so far.
Oh, it's amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry about the little technical difficulties. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we're back here, and like if we wanted to change this person so that let's just save the image. Okay, I'll just save it as unknown. And then say we come back to our Nano Banana. Okay. And I think it's gonna make me select something here, but okay. So let's go into our downloads folder, and we'll get, so yeah. So in this case, like, you know, if you imagine your guy to look more like Arnold, you would say something like, make this man more muscular like Arnold. How do you spell Schwarzenegger?
Who is Austrian.
Yeah, he's actually from the town I started.
Is that your twin brother?
I trained with his best friend karate for 50 years ago.
Really? That's crazy. What's that?
His name was Dr. Gerstl, and the father of this Dr. Gerstl was the mentor of Arnold all the time, and he died with about 90 some years ago.
If you want an authentic Austrian accent, talk to Doctor.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm too old to make it better.
We can understand you.
Thank you.
We can definitely understand.
As Michelle Thomas says, you have to get the ball over the net.
That's true.
It wouldn't take Arnold? Usually it lets you do it.
That's why I was wondering if it would do a specific person, or if you have to say, 250 pound, muscular, whatever.
Just put my picture up there if you want.
That's what I was thinking.
That's wrong.
I used to be.
It's like, okay. So let's do it here. Update this person so that actually we could just copy. Oh. Copy text, and we'll be right here.
Do you find different platforms more consistent with the image throughout the storyboard, or?
No, it's mostly about models. So if you want to keep like the same kind of look, the same style, then you probably want to stick to the same model that you're using. But oftentimes, like, different models are better for different things. And so if you're like, hey, I wanted to switch this person's, like, turn the eyebrows to be completely, I don't know, red here, right? Like Nano Banana would probably be Nano Banana 2 Pro would be really good at this. Whereas other models might not be as good at doing it, but maybe they're cheaper for like other stuff that you're doing, right? And the same thing for the video, where here C-Dance was able to give me this like multi-shot thing that I really liked. And so I could use it to do that. Yeah, I could use it to basically create those shots and then go back to the other model for something else. I just have to kind of be careful on that particular look and style so that it's not changing too much. Where were we? We're here. So let's say we run it. Yeah, and all these will basically end up doing the same thing. So it all depends on what platform you're most comfortable with. Okay, so there you go. But something that you might, like if you aren't trying to have this person be weird looking with a sleeveless shirt or sleeveless jackets like this, like, you would say, okay, well, add the sleeves back on, right? Okay. But yeah, so you could basically use this to make your storyboarding a lot more consistent. And now, like, if you've got the images that you really want for your storyboarding, right? Now you can go in and say, well, I would like to generate, whatever scene that you're looking to generate with the different models here. Let me go back here. And maybe show you guys a little bit of like what was generated with this one. Okay, so starting this one out, like, yeah, I mean, the initial videos of the front of the house were a bit different, and so I needed like different angles to do this. And so this is what I was talking about when I say multiple shots. So here's the person typing, and within the same prompt, it will go from typing to showing like this kind of facial expression, right? Where in our like prompt that we had given, right, with the dog here, where we're saying like zoom in on the face, show the person worried or some kind of expression that you would like to kind of share as like part of the storytelling. And this model does that really well, which is why I like it. And so now that you got your storyboard all figured out, all you're doing is you're going into a model like this, or like the Nano Banana, or the VO3 model. Then you're just generating each scene depending on like what you're looking for. And so once you get a pretty good video of what you want, then you stitch the videos all together with whatever tool you want. So mine is Clipchamp. Obviously, like this is just because I've been on this for like a long time, and I'm just kind of lazy in terms of switching. But if you're somebody who's kind of trying out newer tools, I bet there are better, way better probably tools to use for this kind of thing. Here's the video I made for my friend's wedding, where basically I'm just dragging in each scene in here, sometimes images, and then I'm just putting them together like this, right? Right, so just different cuts, depending on what I want to show. And so with that, then you've got your final video, and essentially you're done with your video production. And so that's my entire process of going through. I'm going to show you guys next kind of how I expedite and speed up some of this stuff, because like especially like in the beginning scene, we would have needed to put in, say, Keith's protocol as like an attached file, and then specifically told it to follow that thing, to follow the protocol so that it gives us the writing style that we want. We would have had to also remember to do the little cut thing on the video production. Same thing with the images. Like if you've got a process that you've got set up, a lot of this stuff you have to do over and over and over in order to generate the same stuff. But there's you can kind of automate it, a lot of those processes with different tools. But maybe I'll answer questions before we go to that.
I was going to ask, is there a time limit on how long these can be, and approximately how much would the cost be for either a 10-minute or an hour-long thing, or half hour?
You're talking about like the video? Sorry.
Did you know that you can make free videos with Grok? You just have to assemble the clips and use the last frame. You can make quasi unlimited video
And
length.
no watermarks.
How do you
Yes.
connect them though?
And you're allowed to
Yeah,
every
this-
2 hours you get to do more renditions. It's renders. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
you just take CapCut, and you can use the CapCut Pro for free. Also, I have posted something about this.
So you do it in Grok and bring it over to CapCut to put together?
Something Grok has, if I could just interrupt you for a second, Doctor. Grok has this new feature. I just found it. I don't know if you know about this, Isaac, but you create the initial image. It gives you like 7 or 8 different renders off of that one image, and all of them it's consistent. So the characters are consistent. I found Grok is and the resolution is amazing, and you get
Is
to
Grok
upscale it for
free?
free. And you get to upscale it for free. If you go to Grok Imagine, if you go to Grok, you download it on your desktop or whatever, you click Grok Imagine, IMAGE, and I'll put it in the text. Is that where you're going, or are you using a different software, Doctor?
Yeah, but okay. So most of the video models are actually they're like up to about 10 seconds. Some of them are a little longer, maybe 20. But a lot of times you'll have to go and stitch them back together because they're just not as good at generating
What's
them.
the longest stitch you can do though? Stitch it to 10 seconds, or you can stitch it as long as you want?
You can stitch it as well. I mean, so if you're using a separate tool, obviously, like you can get as many as you want and put them all together. But with like what Doctor was talking about was like the where you can take the last frame and then regenerate that again. I think that's also as long as you want. Obviously, like if you're paying for the models, you're gonna have to pay per every generation.
Right. And that's how much is that per generation?
It depends on the model. Like all of them
Okay.
have different costs, but some of them that are free. So like say you get the free whatever from what was it called?
Graph?
Nick, the
Grok.
either
Grok is
Grok
free.
or what was the other platform?
I
That way
use
you can
Sora
get,
2 and I use Google, but Sora 2 is free also, but it has a wicked watermark problem.
or where you get a year's worth. What was that thing called?
Oh, Galaxy AI.
So a lot of these guys will just take all of the different models out there and then they'll aggregate them so that like you can just use them all in the same place. Then you pay like a one-time fee to like, with whatever credits they give you.
And then
Okay.
they give you so many credits.
Yeah.
But one of the cheapest ones, and also one of the most, well, I don't want to say consistent, but Google VO, it's only like you can get a render for only like 10 cents. I know if you go through an API, it's like 1 cent, but it's more technical. But you have that already, Cynthia, and I can show you privately if you want to show you how to do that. It's really quite easy.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
So now that we've kind of got an understanding of the entire workflow, right? So you get a story from ChatGPT, you generate the storyboard via the Notebook LM, then you correct your storyboard so that it looks how you want it to look with all the right images using your images tools, Nano Banana or RC Dream, or whatever image model you got. And then you take the images and generate videos using VO3, WAN, or CDance, whatever video you want. And then you stitch them together. But now it's like, in order for you to do that well, you need to know each of those parts well in terms of like how to prompt them, the little different techniques. What I'd like to do is go to something like, there's this tool that I've been working on for a while that's very similar to N8N to basically just help me automate a whole bunch of the processes. And what I've done is basically taken the different processes. Can you guys still see my screen?
No, can't see anything.
How long have you been doing this? You're very knowledgeable.
Well, I mean, I've got like some odd jobs. Like I've worked for for defense. I've worked for Space Force. I've worked for Mayo Clinic in healthcare. I've worked for like this med tech company that called Boston Scientific. They create like heart stents, and have been mostly in their like AI departments. But like on the side, like I've been trying to create this AI thing for like probably over 5 years, and have just not been very successful at doing it.
This is just the beginning. You got it though.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys sitting in through all of my blabber, and you guys helped me kind of get through all of this.
That's impressive. Space Force. That's like, it's military. That's amazing. But what you presented today was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because using tools that I already use and using it for different ways, it's going to open up my bookmaking process. It's going to be doing so many great things. But I appreciate everything you've done. As far as the automation, anyways, I think it might be high tech, anyways, for the regular audience. Yeah, that opens up a whole new world for me. And I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
So just to follow up, everybody, this is Isaac Tutt again. Go ahead and mention your name. I'll give you a free promo.
Yeah, so Isaac Tutt. I've got a school channel, which is create anime shows and movies. www.skool.com/anime, and you'll get there.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you for the
And
shout out.
yeah, go ahead, Cynthia. While you're doing this, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, I'm Cynthia Schiller, certified life coach. I have two communities, Skool Network, Skool Network, to advertise your business for free, get some information on how to grow your school community, and also a Soul Survivor, Soul, that deals with mental health and the healing journey and just overcoming this loneliness epidemic that we have.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I'm Nick Nebelsky, owner of AI Storytellers, whose goal is to really bring together like-minded people, people who like, Isaac, who's presented some just such valuable information for anybody who's looking to do AI film. I see applications in books, graphic novels. Oh my gosh. And storytelling. I also use ChatGPT. I'll show that too. I actually have a conversation, sometimes an argument with ChatGPT about um, stuff, and I've got a huge. Do you use folders too, by the way, Isaac? Yeah. So I have folders for everything, that all the projects I use, and it's been very valuable. And so I just thank Isaac's really. I'm very thankful that you're in my group. I'm also thankful that we've got to know each other, as well as that you're in the premium as well. And anybody who is listening or watching and wants more information about the premium, it's $12 for the year. And the whole idea is to do something like this. The first project we'll be doing in December will be anime. Obviously, Isaac has a head start on all this, but to give you, I teach, both Cynthia and I teach overseas. We teach for Q Kids, which is a English tutoring thing. And one of the students asked me, and she gave me some pictures to start. I have to do an anime for her. What the heck, right?
Yeah.
So it gives us a chance to do things that maybe they're out of our wheelhouse. And we have a lot of talented people here, so I thank you for coming today. I'm sure Dr.
Excellent
Lautner
presentation.
will be happy to see this presentation, and Paulo also was here as well. So thanks again for coming. Went a little bit over, but it's perfect timing, and that's my spiel. I'll edit this part out. The group is really, what do you guys think about it? I mean, the idea is to do like this. This is a great starting point, I believe, what you showed us today. We get our hands dirty. If we need to ask questions, we can have that conversation with each other. Maybe we meet once a week, because I moved make it a Monday to monthly, because it's hard, because I'm not I don't do school on the weekends, so I have to prepare on Thursday or Friday for Monday. So now it's easier if I just do it monthly. So it's one time. But you and the three of us and whoever else is in the group could meet, not for a long week, a long meeting, but just, what do we need help with? If you learn something new, that type of thing. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
I'm
I
down.
mean, I think a lot of this stuff is different ways that we can kind of help each other out, right? Like even in our different groups,
Yeah.
right? Like, by the way, so there are two other people that I'm working with that teach. One's a substitute teacher, and the other teaches overseas. Does the same thing you guys are doing. Her name is Lana. She does video production stuff, and
Wow.
she's the one that I get most of the video knowledge from.
Hmm.
But yeah, maybe I'll invite her here and see if she can also join. Because I think a lot of the knowledges that you guys have in different places, like bringing it all together, helps a lot. So
Yeah. And so support, this is why I started school in the first place, was I have my own projects, but I get stuck. I get stuck.
same.
And it's just, see, just today was a perfect example. Totally shined a new light on an area that I already knew about, and I had no idea.
Right.
So that alone is worth 1,000 times what you presented, that one little bit of information, but also your process. And you've been doing this a long time, so obviously, and I have a film background as well. I don't talk about it much, but
Which you helped me a lot with. That was amazing.
that I love doing it too. That's the funny thing about it, was that my I used to be a production artist for a magazine. Can't remember the name. It was called American Demographics. It was owned by Dow Jones.
Hmm.
The big guy over there in New York City. Anyways, so we get lots of money and everything. But I got to know everything about editorial. I got everything to know about production. And this is the old days, right? Back in 1990 when there was no digital. However, we were the first magazine to put all of our stuff online in the country. And we did all the HTML pages for that. My point is that all of us have lifetimes of wisdom. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be about film or books. We can come together and share that. It'd be pretty amazing. But I'm a stickler for. I can look at a menu and see there's too many spaces between words. That's how focused I am.
Amazing.
From doing that for 7 or 8 years, and that's all I did for 8 years. Is just I would because I had to read all the text. They had proofreaders, of course, but I would find the spaces or make sure the font is correct, making sure the kerning is good. And here's a funny thing too. I'll tell you something. I'm colorblind, right?
Oh yeah.
But I've gone on print checks for color. You'll never believe that because I'm trained to see the differences, and I can see it. Even though I can't tell what color it is, I can see it. I worked at an ad agency. I worked for
That's
all these crazy
wild.
companies, and I'm colorblind. So don't let anything ever stop you, right? If
That's
you have a
amazing.
passion for something, just do it, right?
That's wild. Well, I
So
got to
that's
go
our,
teach online. Got to teach about hurricanes and tsunamis.
All right.
this is
Well,
the inaugural meeting.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be in contact.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.